Liu Kang, one of the original 7 Mortal Kombat characters. He is by far one of the more recognizable characters in the cast, sporting a simple yet iconic design. His name has endured for decades. And while he is a reoccurring figure, for those not more familiar with Mortal Kombat lore, it's difficult to understand just how significant of a role Liu Kang has in the story. In this video, we will be taking a look at his entire story. Please note that this video consists of content that we published before the release of Mortal Kombat 11 back in 2019. But now we have greatly expanded on that with new content considering the events from Mortal Kombat 11 and its DLC aftermath. Before continuing, it is worth noting that there are 2 continuities in Mortal Kombat lore. First is the Midway Games continuity, which comprises all games that are made by Midway Games, the initial developer of the Mortal Kombat series. With Midway Games now defunct, the NetherRealm continuity is operable and still continuing, comprising all games developed by NetherRealm Studios. Liu Kang in both continuities begins the story as a heroic Shaolin monk and member of the White Lotus Society, devout in his mission to protect Earthrealm. In the Midway Games continuity, Liu Kang is a playable character in the first Mortal Kombat game and is a participant in the game's Mortal Kombat tournament. Originally, Mortal Kombat tournaments were designed to regulate the invasions of realms, as one realm, Outworld, had become exceedingly powerful. By the time of the first Mortal Kombat game, an Outworld representative, Goro, had won 9 tournaments in a row, and with a 10th consecutive victory, Outworld would be declared able to invade Earthrealm. The stakes were high, and Liu Kang was selected by Raiden to both join the White Lotus Society and to later participate in this Mortal Kombat tournament. Eventually, Liu Kang fights against the reigning champion, Goro, and wins, thus saving Earthrealm. After this result, he is also challenged by the evil sorcerer Shang Tsung, who is angered at the outcome of the tournament and wins against him as well. In Mortal Kombat 2, Liu Kang travels to Outworld with other heroes, including series newcomers Jax and Kung Lao. Liu Kang eventually confronts Shao Kahn and defeats him. It is worth noting that Kitana, also introduced in this game as a princess of the realm of Edenia, meets Liu Kang here, and Liu Kang falls in love with her. This is very important. In Mortal Kombat 3, Shao Kahn revives Sindel. She's revived in Earthrealm, and because of this, Shao Kahn is eventually able to take the souls of most all humans in Earthrealm, save for a handful that Raiden is able to protect. This process also leads to Outworld's absorption of Earthrealm. Raiden's actions saved several hero characters, including Liu Kang and Kung Lao, the latter of which was nearly killed by Shao Kahn. Kung Lao's near-fatal encounter with Shao Kahn enrages Liu Kang, and Liu Kang lays the smackdown on Shao Kahn, again, freeing the captive souls of Earthrealm and restoring Earthrealm's independence. In Mortal Kombat 4, the evil sorcerer Quan Chi helps the evil Shinnok escape from captivity in NetherRealm. Additionally, Liu Kang learns that Kitana has been captured. This prompts him to fight alongside other heroes to defeat Shinnok, and it is Liu Kang who eventually is the one to again defeat the main menace. Having defeated Shinnok, Liu Kang later speaks to the now-freed Kitana, who suggests that he ruled the realm of Edenia with her. Liu Kang declines, despite his love for her, because he feels that he must remain in Earthrealm as its protector. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance starts out with villains Shang Tsung and Quan Chi allying to kill Shao Kahn and Liu Kang, both powerful and influential people. They succeed. Liu Kang is killed by Shang Tsung posing as Kung Lao and with help from Quan Chi. Liu Kang is not playable in this game, but he does return for Mortal Kombat Deception, Undead. After his death, Liu Kang's soul exists as a consciousness separate from his body. In Deception, his body is animated as an evil zombie by Raiden, corrupted in a desperate attempt to defeat the main menace of the game, Onaga. However, Ermac, recently freed from Shao Kahn's influence and seeking to fight the good fight, works with Liu Kang's soul to free the other hero characters from the influence of Onaga. They eventually succeed in restoring them. In Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Liu Kang returns as a playable character, but still as a zombie. Liu Kang's animated zombie self does not align with either the Force of Light or Forces of Darkness at the Battle of Armageddon. He does, however, do battle with his nemesis Shang Tsung, and it's implied that zombie Liu Kang may have killed Shang Tsung. It is also worth noting that Liu Kang, along with Kung Lao, appear as headlining characters in the spin-off title Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. It also presents serious deviations with story continuity and is not canon as a result. But in any case, the final outcome of Armageddon is not something that Liu Kang would have wanted. The heroes are wiped out, with only Raiden remaining before Shao Kahn kills him. And it is this scene, full of destruction for the heroes, that Raiden seeks to avert, sending information from his consciousness there to a past self. This founds the Netherrealm continuity. It starts with Mortal Kombat 2011. Liu Kang begins the game as Raiden's companion. Eventually, Liu Kang is described as the only Earthrealm warrior who has not been defeated in the current tournament. This begins his story mode chapter, which starts with a fight against Ermac that Liu Kang wins. After winning, Liu Kang and Raiden later have a brief conversation about Raiden's visions. Shortly afterward, after Raiden leaves, Liu Kang is ambushed by Kitana, but Liu Kang wins the fight. Liu Kang is surprised to learn Kitana is Shao Kahn's daughter, but he, in a gesture of goodwill, leaves Kitana, forgiving her of attempting to kill him. After this, Liu Kang engages in a 2 vs 1 against Scorpion and Quan Chi, which he wins. Then Liu Kang fights against Goro, and wins. And the last fight of Liu Kang's story mode chapter pits him against Shang Tsung, and Liu Kang wins again. The Earthrealm warriors congratulate each other on the Mortal Kombat victory, and Kitana, still allied with Outworld at the time, walks away while casting a glance at Liu Kang. A celebration ceremony is later held for Liu Kang at the Wuxi Academy. But later that night, it's ambushed by Shang Tsung and an army of Tarkatan warriors. Liu Kang later appears with the Earthrealm warriors when they encounter Jade and ask her about the whereabouts of Kitana, and with Jade informing them of her kidnapping, Liu Kang and Kung Lao set out to retrieve Kitana. But upon learning that Kitana has moved from the original location that they were instructed to check, the duo are ambushed by Shiva and Noob Saibot, and eventually Goro. Goro tells them that Kitana has been moved elsewhere and may have already been executed, which enrages Liu Kang. Liu Kang and Kung Lao then make their way to the Colosseum where Kitana is held captive, and where more Mortal Kombat matches are being held. When Shao Kahn demands another warrior from Earthrealm to participate, Liu Kang declines. Kung Lao then wins in a 2 vs 1 against Quan Chi and Shang Tsung, and later wins against Kintaro, but Shao Kahn suddenly snaps his neck and kills him. This enrages Liu Kang again, who fights Shao Kahn immediately and appears to kill Kahn, though he's later revived. In a meeting of heroes much later on, they muse on their next steps. With Raiden as puzzled as the rest of them, Raiden decides to take Liu Kang with him, as he thinks that Shao Kahn has violated the rules of Mortal Kombat. But the revived Sindel, corrupted to be loyal to Shao Kahn, appears to fight the remaining heroes and defeats them all, killing many. Liu Kang and Raiden then see Nightwolf sacrifice himself to kill Sindel. Liu Kang then holds Kitana in his arms as she speaks her dying words. Liu Kang finally begins to snap at Raiden. When Raiden suggests allying with Quan Chi to save Earthrealm, Liu Kang thinks the idea is ridiculous and claims that Raiden has lost his mind. Liu Kang leaves Raiden to his decision while he tries to tend to the heroes who are still alive. Raiden later speaks to Liu Kang after meeting with Quan Chi. Unproductive, but for Raiden deducing that if Shao Kahn attempts to merge Outworld and Earthrealm by absorbing Earthrealm into Outworld without having won 10 consecutive victories of Mortal Kombat tournaments for Outworld, then Shao Kahn will face the wrath. Liu Kang balks at the danger of the proposition. Raiden becomes more insistent in stopping Liu Kang from fighting Shao Kahn, who has now appeared before them. This results in a fight between the two. Liu Kang prepares a fireball in one of his hands, but Raiden shocks Liu Kang while he controls it, which fries Liu Kang. Liu Kang, dying, blames Raiden for all of the heroes' deaths, while Raiden pleads for forgiveness. This closes out Liu Kang's role in Mortal Kombat 2011 and begins Liu Kang's new life as a Revenant in Mortal Kombat X. Whereas Liu Kang was previously a peaceful and centered person of just purpose, he's now incredibly bitter and resentful for the loss of innocent lives and for his own death. Liu Kang doesn't figure until late in the story mode as a servant of Quan Chi, among the other Revenants whose souls were lost and not reclaimed after the events of Mortal Kombat 2011. At one point, Liu Kang is part of Quan Chi's Revenant army helping to escort Quan Chi to his lair, awaiting D'Vorah with the stolen amulet of Shinnok. It is here that Liu Kang and Jax fight, during Jax's story mode chapter. Liu Kang expresses his resentment towards Jax for allying with Raiden, and maintains his hatred of Raiden for what he thinks is the robbery of his life. Quan Chi is later killed by Scorpion, but not before he summons Shinnok. Liu Kang then pledges allegiance to Shinnok upon Quan Chi's death. Later, Liu Kang is a story mode fight for Raiden, in which Raiden maintains that Liu Kang's death was an accident and expresses his remorse. Liu Kang, however, is still vengeful and seeks Raiden's death, but Raiden wins the fight. Liu Kang doesn't maintain an active story role from here on out, besides defending Shinnok's lair from Cassie Cage, Takeda, Kong Jin, and Jackie Briggs. When Cassie and Raiden defeat Shinnok, Liu Kang and Shinnok's other former servants flee. In an epilogue cutscene, it is revealed that Liu Kang and Kitana are now the rulers of Netherrealm. Raiden, corrupted and angry after killing Shinnok, bitterly swears to them that he will defend Earthrealm at all costs, throwing Shinnok's severed head before Liu Kang and Kitana and mentioning that there are fates worse than death. And this is where things start to get really loopy. We now move to the story of Mortal Kombat 11, by which time Liu Kang has become more corrupted than ever by the influence of Shinnok. And though Shinnok himself is of course dead now thanks to Raiden, or Dark Raiden as he's come to be known by this point, his death doesn't come without significant consequences. It turns the head of Chronica, the Titan of Time, who has the power to control and manipulate all of, well, time. She's the mother of Shinnok, and she decides that she's going to rewrite history, remove all of Raiden's influence, and erase him entirely from existence. As Mortal Kombat 11's story begins, Bone Temple, which effectively serves as the base of operations for Liu Kang and Kitana, is attacked by Raiden and his forces, and though the forces of Netherrealm try to defend it, their efforts are for naught, and Bone Temple is destroyed. Before long, however, Chronica intervenes and simply reverses its destruction, which results in all Revenants, Liu Kang included, pledge fealty to her. Chronica's meddling with time also brings some complications though, because she accidentally ends up causing the past younger selves of number of Mortal Kombat characters to enter the present, with Liu Kang being one among them. Thankfully for all involved, his younger version hasn't been corrupted by Shinnok's influence, and after learning everything about the state of the realm at present, he aligns himself with Earthrealm. Chronica's powers are unmatched though, and as we get deeper into Mortal Kombat 11's story, the casualties continue to pile up. Eventually, very little is left standing. Most of Earthrealm's bases and defenses have been destroyed. One particular fight also sees the young Liu Kang facing off against his Revenant self, with the Revenant berating him for being a blind fool, and the young Liu Kang remarking how twisted his future self has become. The young version wins the fight, and soon afterward, he travels to Outworld to reconvene with Kitana again. Here, Kitana is able to successfully defeat Shao Kahn in combat, following which she is declared the new ruler of Outworld. A crucial moment in the story arrives when Raiden finds himself on the verge of killing the young version of Scorpion, falsely believing him to have been sent by Chronica to foil the plans of Earthrealm's forces. The young Liu Kang stands with Scorpion though, and hoping to protect him prepares himself to fight Raiden if needed. Just as it looks like things are about to get out of control though, Raiden backs down, realizing that this is all part of Chronica's manipulation. He explains to Liu Kang that in all timelines, the two of them are manipulated by Chronica into fighting each other, and that Liu Kang himself eventually ends up dying in all timelines, just as he did in the Midway one. But Raiden's attempts to break free of Chronica's influence do not go down well with her. She kidnaps the younger Liu Kang, and his soul is then absorbed by his Revenant version. Revenant Liu Kang then takes on Raiden in a furious battle, and it's the battle that effectively goes on to shape much of what's going to happen in the series' future. Raiden defeats his foe, but rather than killing him, he merges himself past Liu Kang's body, and Revenant Liu Kang together. In this merging, the soul and consciousness of the young Liu Kang emerges as the dominant force. Using his powers, Liu Kang takes on Chronica in a climactic duel, one that even sees her transporting both of them to the prehistoric age in a last-ditch attempt to win the fight. Liu Kang is able to defeat her though, and using his powers, he turns her to glass and destroys every last bit of her, including, crucially enough, her crown. Why exactly is that crucial? We'll get back to that. Now we arrive at the events of Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, the last major chunk of the story in the current NetherRealm Studios continuity. After the defeat of Chronica, Raiden hands over the responsibilities to Liu Kang, who incidentally also takes over the mantle of Keeper of Time, replacing the dead Chronica. With the power to manipulate as he sees fit, now in his hands though, Liu Kang has grand ambitions. With Raiden by his side, he wishes to create an entirely new timeline where everyone will be able to live a much more peaceful life, and the losses that everyone has suffered over the years will be wiped away. To do that, he intends to use Chronica's hourglass. However, he's informed by Shang Tsung that if the hourglass is used without Chronica's crown, which is now gone, the hourglass would shatter. Liu Kang tries it anyway, and lo and behold, the hourglass shatters. And so he comes up with a new plan. He sends Shang Tsung along with Nightwolf and Fujin back in time, before Kitana was able to defeat Shao Kahn and become the new Khan of Outworld. That, of course, is something that's bound to have dire effects, and likely even cause the deaths of everyone and anyone opposing Shao Kahn. All of that does indeed happen, and the sorcerer Shang Tsung goes on to claim the crown of Outworld, following which he comes within inches of taking Chronica's role as the Keeper of Time, with her crown also now in his possession. At this point, however, Liu Kang arrives, and the full extent of his plans is revealed. As it turns out, Liu Kang knew full well that the decision to send Shang Tsung back in time would result in, but he decided to sacrifice the lives of all of his allies anyway, because he intended to let Shang Tsung proceed and attain Chronica's crown, only to intervene at the end and take it from him. That would then allow him to create the new timeline that he intended to create, thus allowing him to give more peaceful lives to the very people he'd chosen to sacrifice. While players can make the decision to fight as Shang Tsung and defeat Liu Kang at this point, the canon ending sees Liu Kang defeating the sorcerer and using the hourglass to create his new timeline. Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath's final scene shows a number of Shaolin monks training in a White Lotus temple, the Great Kung Lao being one of them. Liu Kang appears in front of the Great Kung Lao and tells him that he's picked him as a chosen warrior. This is where the story of Liu Kang ends. Well, for now anyway. The events of Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath have, of course, created an entirely new timeline, which the upcoming reboot Mortal Kombat 1 is said to take place in. But what exactly is that final scene setting up? Liu Kang choosing the Great Kung Lao as his champion is of course reminiscent of Raiden doing the same in the original timeline, 500 years before the events of the original Mortal Kombat. Does this mean that Mortal Kombat 1 is going to take cues from the events of that era? And tell us about those early Mortal Kombat tournaments between Outworld and Earthrealm, where the Great Kung Lao fights and defeats Shang Tsung, and is eventually killed by Goro? Of course, it was Liu Kang's idea to make a timeline that's much more peaceful, so obviously we can assume that things are going to go a little differently than they did in a previous timeline. But how differently? We'll find out when Mortal Kombat 1 releases on September 19th. Hey, did you know that we at Gaming Bolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.